Today, we actually have a special guest for the live stream. One of our awesome Opus testers. He actually has his own YouTube channel talking about camping, solar generators, as well as videography. Scott Link from Scott Link Media. So first off, how long have you been using Opus power stations and what drew you to them in the first place?
Well, it's not that long, really. Well, a few years ago, we had a pretty severe power outage here in East Texas, and I was without power for about 7 days. And so we started getting interested in, how we could kind of keep the power going at that point. So I started out with a kind of a regular gas generator, just a really inexpensive one, but there's some limits to that. And then last year we got into camping more, and I'd been interested in a solar generator kind of thing, like a power station in some way. So I started shopping for that. And last year at Black Friday sale, I just couldn't say no to the price of like the Exodus 600, which now is even cheaper, which is great. If you haven't got one, you should check it out. And I haven't really looked back since. Like we've just kind of been, feeding that addiction, if you will, getting into more solar stuff to kind of, it's like a whole new hobby, as well as the fact that, like the other day we had another power outage and I was able to power my refrigerator. Didn't lose anything, even though it was out for several hours. So it's been great.
So which Opus power stations do you currently have and how long have you had them for?
Right. So of course we started out with the Opus 600. When I was looking for the brands, to be honest, I was about to pull the trigger on another different brand product. And I stumbled across the Opus brand and was just kind of shocked at the price, comparatively. And then discovered that Opus has US-based support. And then I found out that there was even an online community. And so I picked up the Opus 600 again around Christmas and began using that and became a part of the Facebook group. I ended up with the Exodus 1200, and of course now we have the Exodus 1500. I also have the 240 watt solar panel from Exodus, which is a excellent solar panel as well.
Awesome. Yeah, that's awesome to hear. Can you briefly tell us how you used each of the power stations?
Sure. So, the 600, it's smaller, but like I said, I do a lot of videography. And so having a portable power station that can quickly charge my camera batteries and lights and that kind of stuff, it's very helpful. It's also great for small jobs. But even though it's small, if you need something quickly, it still has 600 watts of power. So, taking it camping, powering some string lights, things like that, it's really great. With the 1200, of course, you kind of open up some more options because you get, significantly more battery power, double the, inverter power. You can do power tools with it, fans, coolers. And with the 1500, well, it opens up even more because I talked about taking the 1200 camping, where the 1200 might last you a day or so with moderate use. The 1500 with the extra battery, will probably last 2 days without even really having to charge it too much. Like we have a larger microwave, my toaster oven, that kind of thing. And the Exodus 1500 with its 1700 watt boost mode was just handling it. I cooked earlier. I was talking about those pizza rolls. I cooked those pizza rolls in a toaster oven that was pulling 1600 watts for the whole time, and it heated up, cooked the whole thing, and didn't even blink. It really worked really well. I was actually really impressed. I was afraid that I was going to run into some issues, but it handled things in our kitchen very well.
What would you say the difference in experience is between using like Opus power stations compared to like traditional solutions like gas generators?
Well, a gas generator, it's handy. You can use it at night. You can use it when it's cloudy. So that's definitely a bonus. But the interesting thing about a gas generator is, you got to always have fuel for it. It's loud. It's got to be outside. And if you run out of gas, it's not like it doesn't have a battery. It doesn't store it. Also, if you're not careful, like when I bought a generator, I didn't really know what I was doing. So I bought a cheap generator. It's not a modified sine wave, thank goodness, but it's also not a pure sine wave inverter. It's just an open frame generator that puts out close to a pure sine wave. And so I can't use it for any particular, sensitive electronics or things like that. Versus like a power station or solar generator, of course, it's quiet. And when you charge it, then they store the power for a long time, and then you get to use it whenever you want to. But if I had my druthers, I would rather have a solar generator just because it's quiet. I can use it. I can move it to any room of the house and not have to have an extension cord running outside. And I don't have to worry about, getting up in the middle of the night to gas it up,
One last thing, is there anything else you'd like to mention here or talk about before we head off here?
The community that Opus has fostered is special and rare. And so, I mean, the fact that we even have, live chat groups and giveaway prizes and that kind of stuff, and we have, inside jokes about pizza rolls and snacks or whatever, pretty crazy. You don't see that in a lot of other Facebook groups. And so don't take that for granted. I'm glad that it exists, and it makes me a bigger fan of the product.
Well, we appreciate that very much. We're very happy to have little inside jokes about pizza rolls or 3,500 charge cycles. So we're glad to have you in the community. We're glad to have this huge community that's around us, and yeah, we really appreciate it as well. I want to say thank you very much for taking the time to chat with us on stream, and thanks again for testing out the Exodus 1500 as well as our other power stations. Once again, you can find Scott on YouTube at ScottLink Media, as well as on Facebook. Thank you very much, Scott. Appreciate you hopping on, and I hope you have a good day.